energy, sometimes we do. And our job is just to not only match that energy, but to exceed that. That's the expectation. So it's good to see guys answering that call.
Who are some of the guys specifically that you really saw today answer that call?
Shoot, I mean, Brock Bowers, he shows up every single day. He does a lot of little things. The young guy, Dylan Lau, he's bringing a spark every time he gets the ball. He's a very special guy. I think DJ Glaze as well. He's a guy, he really comes off the ball. I think that's something that we emphasize on offense is getting off. Everything starts up front, and he's a guy who he brings that same attention to detail every single day. So those are three young guys, you know what I'm saying? So anytime you got young guys who don't need to be coached to do that, I think you have a good team setting yourself up.
I don't know if you happen to see it, you might have been on the field when it happened, but Brock delivered a kind of a crackback block on Max Crosby. It was yesterday.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
I didn't see it.
And it was just, I mean, he stuck his nose in his chest and laid the wood, basically.
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody wants to do that to Max. I think everybody does. He's a guy who he brings the tempo and the energy every single day, and we want him to know that he's not the only one who's that confident in himself. He's a guy who also chirps a lot, talks a lot. I think he does it to get the best out of his guys. And if you know Brock, he doesn't talk a lot, but he talks a lot with his back. So.
I was going to say that because for a rookie to not be afraid to go in there and say, all right,
yeah, I mean, we have a rule. You're a rookie when you're in meetings. You're a rookie when you're in a cafeteria. But when you step inside this rectangle, you're not a rookie anymore. And he understands that.
You've made your name on special teams a lot over the years. How different is this kickoff role, and how tough is it to adjust after the time you've been in the league to something so different?
It's really different. It's a lot more based on timing. Timing is always the name of the game of football, but even more so with the new rules. I think Tom McMahon's doing a good job coaching it. So I would say our guys are picking it up pretty well.
There's a lot of knuckleball kicks that are coming you guys' way, and I don't know how you even prepare for that necessarily because it's something that's pretty much brand new to the whole thing. So how do you go about? Because those balls are spinning and bouncing, and obviously you got to secure it. That's first and foremost.
I mean, we're still in reps all the time. If we have a special team spirit that doesn't involve some of the returners, we're out there getting catches, and that's what the game of football is in general. Just getting reps. Seeing it off the foot, off the tee, as many times as you can, so you can kind of get a beat on it, and then the rest of that is just God-given ability.
And the last time I talked to you, you're getting ready to do a movie.
Yeah.
How did it turn out?
It turned out well. We finished up shooting like 2 weeks ago. Should be coming out probably in the next 5 or 6 months.
How was the experience getting in front of the camera now as an actor as opposed to just doing what you had been doing?
It was different. It was definitely different. But at the end of the day, I feel like I kind of was able to fall back on a lot of my training here in football. Keeping the main thing was my main reoccurring thought when I was on set. So it was a positive experience for me.
What do you want to see yourself accomplish personally by the end of camp?
Really just to become a leader, both vocally and just with my play. I'm a guy, I've been around, I've been on a few teams. I've played a lot of football in my life. I think I understand the game pretty well. So just showing up for this team in any way that they ask me to, but really just having my best year in year 10. I think I'm primed, I'm ready to do it.
Day 2 and pads, obviously small sample size, but do you feel that you guys improved anything or focused on something today from yesterday?
Yeah, just the fundamentals. Like I said a little bit earlier in this interview, getting off the ball is important, both defensively and offensively. And that a lot of times dictates the game, especially in the run game. So just seeing the O-line roll off the ball with proper steps, proper pad level, it sets the tone. And then it's up for us backs to get the right reads, and our quarterbacks to get the right drops, and receivers to get the right depths on their routes. And I think anytime we turn on the film after we have practice and we see those guys getting off the ball with good pad level and good fundamentals, that's just encouraging each level of the game to improve that much more.
We've talked to a bunch of young guys who are introducing themselves to yoga, recovery methods, preventative methods. I know we've talked to you in the past about certain things that you do to keep the body right. Do you feel like it's that message is getting spread now among athletes? Like things that we thought might have been a little weird or whatever in the past are actually really beneficial to us?
Yeah, it always takes one, right? We got a couple guys, Max, myself, Robert Spillane, guys I always see doing things that are a little unconventional. And like I said a little bit earlier about the young guys, they're all sponges. None of them really bring in like an ego or pride about themselves where they're like, maybe that's not for me. They're at least willing to try it first or ask what this is before they just knock it or just write it off. And I think that is infectious on the team. You see one guy who's successful, who's played a long time, a guy who's had a lot of Pro Bowls like Max, a lot of All-Pros like Max, doing the little things. It's like, well, I'm not too good to do it if Max is doing it. Or, Ameer's played a long time. Why shouldn't I hop in with him in the morning and do some things? So it's just really encouraging to see with our team. and it just feels different, you know. And I'm really appreciative of that. And I'm back to be a Raider to witness it all.
Obviously, throughout your career, you've taken pride in being a returner, also being a gunner, and really just adding value to special teams. How much pride do you also take now in learning these new rules and exceeding at them as well?
Man, it's funny. I feel like a dinosaur sometimes because I've seen so many different rule changes in the NFL. So I wear it as a badge of honor that I've survived through so many different reigns of football, and this is just the next one, you know. And I think it's a good opportunity for returners, like you alluded to kind of step back out and have a pivotal influence on the game again. You know, growing up for me, it was guys like Dante Hall, you know, the human joystick. It was guys like Percy Harvin, guys like that who not only offensively or defensively, like a Devin Hester, where he ended up switching the receiver, who could really make an impact when the ball was kicked off or punted. And it's exciting to see, and I think the game needs it.
You've been around some running back rooms. When it comes to a guy like Dylan Lave being a 6th-round pick from a small school, how unique is it that he's getting these first-team reps and kind of has faith from the offensive side of things?
I mean, I think you see it now. It doesn't really matter where you get drafted. You know, I mean, you see guys all the time get drafted 1st round to 7th round, specifically at the running back position, who can play ball. You know, there's only so many guys who actually get drafted. So if you really think about it, I mean, he was one of the few guys who was selected to be talented enough to be drafted to a team. So I think there's an expectation, first and foremost, for himself to be great. And we see the team, the tape, we see what kind of attention to detail he brings every single day. So, you know, for us as a running back group, we're not surprised. You know, he's a guy who he's a listen first guy, talk, you know, second guy. He's the guy who's going to finish, no matter if the rep is good or bad. And I think that's only setting himself up to have a good season, but also a good career. So,
Let's do one more. You talked about the rookies and how they stood out on the field. That they're rookies when you're having lunch, breakfast, etc. How has that been socializing with them and that relationship?
Well, none of them could sing. None of them could sing. That's one of our things. We try to get the rookies to get up and show a little personality, sing before meetings, and they're all god awful. So thank God they found football.
Something they can do.
Something they can do. They're kind of funny. They're a little funny, you know what I mean? Sometimes they get the pity laugh just so they won't, feel awkward. But they're kind of funny. A couple of them are funny.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.